Look here, fans. It's been a long time coming. Fucking hell, I wrecked my throat. Hi, it's Richard Lewis. This is Trash Talk. And we're going to go fucking ham tonight, I think. I've been actually looking forward to doing this show. There's so much shit going on. Lots of stuff to talk about. I can't wait to get into it with you all. But, Sam, first of all, how are you doing today?
Alright, I felt really bad this morning from going to Worlds, but I feel better now. I've been chugging lem sips and straps all day, mate. Feel a bit better now. Feeling up for it. Bone Crusher got me in the mood, mate.
I thought so. I thought Bone Crusher would. That's from his album, the legendary Aten Chun, spelled ATTEN-CHUN exclamation point. It's a great album, a classic. I recommend it to anyone. But yes, lots to talk about in the world of esports. I'm not too sure exactly where to begin. Actually, before we get into it, you've been very busy lately, haven't you?
Yeah, real busy, mate. Finally
I know,
made
you've
it,
been
mate.
traveling and stuff. Well, obviously. And I was going to say, you had a bit of chill out time the other day, didn't you? You went to a family barbecue.
Yeah, we had some good times, mate. Good family times.
Yeah. Well, I mean, do you want to... You said you took a video of the barbecue and you were going to show us.
Alright.
What was going on in your garden.
Okay.
Come on, Eddie.
Get on there.
Come on, Eddie. Come to us, son. Easy.
Let do it yourself. Lift it up a bit, a little bit.
Sir.
Take it over you.
Forward. And down. Go on,
Go on, Ed.
No, I can't.
Go on, you can.
Take it off.
Come on,
You
get
can
it.
do
Take
it.
it off. I can't. My chest. Take it off.
Got it in.
Fuck it, let's take
Push
it
it
off.
up. Push it up.
Well, I can't.
Push it
Fuck
up.
off. Fuck off, boys. Fucking my dog is fuck my chest up.
Oh, you fucking idiots. Fucking
Oh, I
hell.
did that, man. He wouldn't lift it, would he?
Chubby wouldn't lift it, would he?
I can't lift it.
Lift him up.
Your uncle's a bit soft, isn't he? Like, what the fuck is going on with him, man?
I can't take it off. I can't. Oh, it's so good.
Oh, mate, I missed the Port Talbot barbecue so much.
Definitely is my
I
uncle,
mean,
by the way. Let's clear that one up.
Yeah, whatever.
Actually,
mate.
my family.
Yeah, who you fooling? Like, who the fuck you fooling? So anyway, yeah, esports, it's all been kicking off, boys, like we kind of knew it would. So let's just get into a few bits and pieces that leap right out at me. Obviously, we've had the High incident where I did a video sort of saying that a good thing to do might be to just give him a slap on the wrist or a slap on the finger, as it might appropriately turn out. And let's just, push it under the rug. But they were always going to have to do something, Riot. They were always going to have to address it because they've done so many ridiculous fines in the past. Well, lo and behold, that's exactly what they did. High got a €500 fine for flipping the finger, which I thought, was fair, I guess. Although some people have talked about whether or not this is, preferential treatment. In fact, Jack from Cloud9, again, I've got no issue with Jack whatsoever, but he kind of made a bit of a joke about it, saying selling one slightly used bird, asking €500, which, everyone's kind of made a bit of a joke out of it, which I just wonder if, from a tone perspective, does this kind of undermine Riot a little bit? If Riot are meant to be these super serious, we want a non-toxic environment company, and fuck, we know that they are, because that's what they've dedicated their entire fucking life to. And indeed, they put that over development of the game itself. Then, does this sort of flippant, no pun intended, tone about it all, does that kind of undermine what they're trying to achieve? I think that's quite a possibility. Anyway, perhaps you've got some views on that. If so, you can call in by adding call.trashtalk to Skype, and we will be happy to listen to you. Now, obviously, as well, we did have a few calls, but no one really touched upon this point, so I'll reiterate it. Right in the middle of the League of Legends World Championships, 3 champions, that's 3, had to be disabled because of bugs in the game. And one of them, while I believe it was Ziggs and Lux, which aren't going to cause too many problems for players, Gragas was one of them. And Gragas is a hotly contested jungle pick right now in the current meta. Obviously, that could impact on a lot of teams that are prepared around that tactic. Now, nobody brought this up on the last show that we did, but it's probably worth exploring. So if you've got some opinions about that, definitely call in. And also, Team Dignitas have agreed. This was a story that was just released by my old protege, Josh Raven, over at the Daily Dot before the rest of the Daily Dot writers decided I was a bad guy because I write for Breitbart and I'm friends with Milo, and that means that I hate women and I want to kill and oppress women. But Josh is still good. Because obviously he wants to kill and oppress women too. And he broke this story today about Team Dignitas have finally agreed terms to sell its European League of Legends team, which means that the team that's qualified, their roster will be uncertain, because if the team doesn't want to keep them, they'll be under no obligation to do so. Obviously, with the next split a while off, they have got time to tweak things, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. There isn't any details on the exact number, but the winning bid was upwards of $1 million, which sounds about right. I've seen some Challenger Series teams be in North America, and they've been subject to $1.3 million bids just to own the slot, which seems crazy. So that's some big news. Odie's always in the chat. If the calls aren't too great, maybe we'll get him on, see what we can pick out of him to get some more information about that. Now, meanwhile, story I've been working on for a while was I managed to get a hold of some contracts from some high-level esports teams, and they are ridiculous as you would expect in this particular business. Now, today, the story that I did was Fnatic, who I would say are one of the world's leading esports organizations. I've got a lot of respect for them. I know lots of the management over there. I kind of grew up with Fnatic. They were always the big organization that I was kind of looking up to when I first started being an esports journalist. I always thought they were one of the organizations that really led the way. Well, it turns out that their League of Legends and Dota 2 squads have been signed to a contract that gives irrevocable power of attorney when it comes to sponsorships, merchandising, and image rights. And what this means, of course, is that Fnatic, provided it has anything to do with that particular topic, they can actually go ahead and sign agreements and contracts and everything else on the player's behalf. Now, the CSGO team didn't sign these contracts, and they apparently have been sent a revised contract for them to sign, because their contract's coming up for renewal as we move into 2016. The League of Legends team did sign this contract, but because the organization has feared that this was going to go public, I don't know if they got wind of me having the contract, whether they watched unfiltered or whatever, but they've agreed to redraft the League of Legends contract. The only team that's going to be currently held to this contract is going to be the Dota 2 squad, which so far we've heard nothing about them redrafting it. Now, in a statement that they did release, Fnatic have said more recent versions of our player contracts will not have this clause included, so we can presume that the Dota 2 team will have the option to sign the better version of the contract, but we have no idea when their contracts are up for renewal. So, fairly shocking story. I imagine lots of people will see this and want to get into a debate about it. But let me tell you, from all of the contracts I've seen, signing away your image rights is par for the course. You even do this in an LCS contract. Never forget, people who play in the LCS, they agree to have their image, their likeness, and indeed their voice used by Riot Games in any capacity, even to the point where if Riot wanted to alter your voice, this is a specific clause in the LCS contracts when we reviewed them by a lawyer. Riot Games can do that. They can alter your voice to say, I don't know, I'm good at turning you on. And they couldn't do anything about it. They'd have to deal with it. and Riot owned that forever and ever and ever. It just goes on. So if a player ever wanted to quit and become a professional Dota player, professional Heroes of the Storm player, let's say, for example, let's take a look at Forgiven. If Forgiven wants to have a career in Heroes of the Storm, Riot could, just despite him, still use his image and likeness to promote League of Legends. That's the ridiculous scenario that these players are finding themselves in. And image rights aren't being protected for players right now, and it's image rights where you get the bulk of the money. You think about it, every athlete, it's your image, your likeness, your personality, your game alias. These are your brand, and players are just signing them away for fucking next to nothing for these fairly pitiful returns. So I'm really hoping that something's going to be done about this. We've really got to get some individual agents for players. We've got to do something to start addressing this. Players need to protect their own image rights and not sign them away so frivolously just for what is, at the moment at least, an above average salary. It's literally above a living wage. It's fairly ridiculous. Anything to add to that point, Sam, before we go on?
Nah.
Nah, nothing?
Nah. Don't care.
Fucking hell, you're useless.
I'm ill, mate. I'm ill. Come on. I'll perp
Well, all right. Now, I haven't missed anything else in the show rundown, have I? I'm kind of feeling...
But is that coming later?
That's coming. There it was. I knew. The thing that I made you slave over all night while you were ill. So anyway, one final... Just knocked my microphone off. One final shocking story. And this is really shocking. We managed to actually obtain camera footage of Nick Allen's last days while he was in Riot Games. And we heard a lot of rumors that Nick Allen was out of control, that actually the environment that Riot Games had sort of degenerated into was just ridiculous, that they were having this unparalleled amount of control over the managers, over all of the teams, all of the organizations, that they were making them do this sort of weird physical regime. Anyway, we managed to get this footage, and we're going to play it for you now, and I do warn you, it is very shocking.
Basically what's happened today, an employee who I have, that I've only had for a couple of months. We give him a job on a trial. He's done well. He's not a bad kid. He is a good kid, actually. I've had rumours he's been selling juice in the gym, which we just don't abide by. There is lads in here that do use steroids, but they use it in their house. And what they do with behind closed doors is none of my business. I'm not into that crap. It's nothing to do with me. Now, there's another lad in here with a tattoo on his head. Not Tony upstairs, it's a different lad. And I've looked after this kid for like 4 or 5 months. They can either have a dig, or they can admit what they've done, pay me a bit of profit back, still take him in the gym. If they deny you, the two of them are going to get a crack, and that's it. Just take these on here. Couple of things I want to bring up. Yeah. Right, this is not, I'm not fucking about. I'm fucking dead serious here. Right? Really fucking dead serious. You know me, I don't give shit, I don't take shit. Here's how serious I'm gonna be. I've been selling fucking gear in my fucking gym, you cheeky twat. You know, I'm not sure. Yeah, no, don't fucking lie to me. You have been giving him gear, and I'm shocked at you for selling fucking gear. I'm not selling anything. Don't, since what? Since yesterday? She said. No, since he said, well, you were selling it from the fucking house, now you've been selling from here. I said I'd back you up, Stu. Yeah, you did. Right? I said I'd back you up that gym. Fucking forget about the camera. This is business, mate. This is fucking business. Only that I know Chaddy and he's related through Chaddy. I will fucking flatten you, mate, and put you on the floor, right? But I know you're going to need me to work with you with that prick. Normally, it gets off you, don't it? So from me, point of view, he's buying off you, you're giving it to him, you sell it in my gym. What do I do? Might as well bend over the camera and go, have a go with that. It's not business, is it?
No, I understand that, John.
It's not business. You've made money, I've earned fuck all. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to tax you $1,000. You can give me $1,000, keep your job, stay in the gym. If you don't want to give me $1,000, by the end of the day, I'll smash your head in, and I'll smash your head in. What do you want to do? Simple as that. But, Right, hey, hold your hand, we'll sort it. Yeah, okay. Come on, I'll get a cup of tea. Come on. That just had to be done, just a little bit slap. It is only a bit slap. But they've made money in my business. Money, Jim. So I want it. I've got bills here. I owe rent, I owe Lecky, I owe everything else. I'm not a fucking millionaire. Business is business. But it's worked. And that's the way we do work. He's my right-hand man, everything goes through him. And he's told me, because he's my right-hand man, he's not a fucking snitch. I don't, if I see something going on in him, I tell him. But I don't know about this. He's my best mate. It's called loyalty. You can't buy it.
He's like my dad, my best mate.
We're fucking loyal as fuck, that's the way it goes.
So there you go. Truly shocking. But of course, you know, we always knew Travis and Nick Allen did have a special relationship. And I think now we get to the root of it all. He's like my dad. That's what he says. So he's like my dad. He certainly is. Now, we'll have more shocking footage from that documentary in future episodes. So we're going to drip feed that, I think. But there we are. I think we can all see just Riot are out of control. I said it all along. And now we've got video evidence of it. Absolutely shocking. So anyway, without any further ado, we should probably take a call about now. What do you think?
Sounds good, mate.
Oh, is it? Okay, well, right, let's do it. I'll let you pick one out. And just to say, I'm about to have my first beer on an episode of Trash Talk in fucking ages.
Is it though, mate? Because you had one last time.
No, I had a whiskey, a beer. I haven't touched a beer for fucking ages on the show.
I've got some brew dogs as well. Let's do it together, shall we, mate?
All right, good, because I'm down a lean, mean 18 pounds now.
Grand.
I've lost, so I've earned myself a beer or two, I think. So I'm gonna have it. So there we go.
Okay. So first we're gonna have gone Chris / Crumpets, and he wants to talk about Gragas bug and the champions being banned for the remainder of the Worlds.
Okay, let's get into it. Let's toast me some crumpets, motherfucker. Hello, Chris. Can you hear me?
Sound.
Hello, Chris.
Can you hear me?
Oh, here we go. It's your boy Chris.
Hello?
Can you hear me all right?
I can.
That's good. That's good. We haven't caught you in the middle of something, have we?
No, sorry. It was just Skype plugging out a bit for a second there. I thought I couldn't hear anyone, but it's resolved itself.
Oh, well, that's good to know. That's good to know. So, right, you want to talk about the Gragas bug, among other things. So, just get straight into it, brother. What's on your mind?
Well, I was at the quarterfinals when it all kicked off with Rainover. I mean, we were in the middle of the match. It looked like it was going to go towards... I can't remember who Fnatic were playing, and I was there, for God's sake. EDG, that's the one. And it looked like it was going to go their way. I mean, there was only one kill in it, but it did seem like EDG were getting on a bit of a roll, but then all of a sudden the game was paused. And we had about 10 to so minutes of not really knowing what was going on. The stream came on saying technical issues, and there was a Gragas bug. And then we waited about 45 minutes until it was resolved. They said that they tried everything, and they've tried letting Gragas be killed, and his Q would just not work. So I wanted to talk about if they can't get the coding right, and then they're putting it out on the world stage.
Mm-hmm.
What can we expect from them, really? I mean, I'm not going to go into too much depth, but there were a few other technical weaknesses over the weekend. I went there for Saturday, Sunday, and there was issues with the keyboard, issues with the monitor, the big screen at the front of the stage. One of the panels went out for about a minute during one of the games.
Right. Well, let's talk about that actually.
Like,
so, hang on. You were there, and you said there were lots of other problems, not just the Gragas thing. There was.
Oh no! At the quarterfinals, I was there for Saturday, Sunday, and there was on Saturday. There was obviously the bug with Rainover and Gragas. His queue just would not work with, like I said, 45-minute wait, and then they just ended up restarting the game completely. It threw EDG off because they had a really good comp going on. It was the first game in ages where neither not Gragas, Gangplank or Mordekaiser had been banned. So I think Fnatic took Gangplank and Mordekaiser was over on EDG. And then there was issues with keyboards all through the weekend, and there was games getting paused. There was, like I said, the main one that I had to, other than the Gragas, was the screen going out. Like the middle right screen of the four big, that made the one big whole screen in the middle that everyone was watching on. It went out. It was just black. And they didn't stop play. They just had to kind of guess where people were, if they were within that bit of the screen. So yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, I just don't know what to really think of it all, because if they're trying to put on a good show, and admittedly, bar the one Riot employee that they brought out at the beginning of every day, running people through everything, we're going to have a super fun time, guys. Yeah, okay. And then they made the joke about the TPA Shen cosplay every single day with the thunder sticks. If you're not going to keep them, throw them in the... Oh, yeah, every day. And it was on Saturday, Sunday, it was two different guys that made the exact same joke, so that was obviously scripted. They treated everyone like they were 5. We're just going to ask politely that you don't do this and make sure everyone has a really good time. Okay, sorry. Yeah, none of us are 5.
Well, I mean that sounds tonally appropriate for their audience.
It's typical Riot, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't even mind, but I was near the front. I was lucky enough to get some good, decent tickets, and there wasn't anyone prepubescent around me. It was either older guys or 20-year-olds, 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds. I'm no doubt there was maybe a few younger members of the audience, but not to the point where you have to just tone it down just solely for their sake. I mean, you could have done something. The one thing I can credit them on, during the 45-minute technical difficulties thing with Gragas, they didn't send on the right employee to fill. They threw it back to the casters, and they kind of did a bit of filling, and then they threw it back to the analyst desk, and it kind of just went around a bit, but at least there was something. It wasn't just nothing.
So getting back to the Gragas situation, now look, they said all of this stuff about how it was a 1 in a million bug that they've never been able to replicate in testing, even though they know it exists, and blah, blah, blah. I mean, I've talked to some people, and they've said, this is a well-established bug. This is known. This has been going on for a while. And Riot simply haven't addressed it, that this should have been seriously addressed before Worlds, because they should have understood that Gragas was going to be a hotly contested pick. Now, they obviously haven't addressed this based on what's happened, and having to disable such a vitally important champion during the middle of such a vitally important tournament, for me, it is faintly ridiculous. But that said, do we need to maybe, just to play a bit devil's advocate, do we need to maybe accept that because what we do in esports, there is this technological component to it? Do we need to accept that there are going to be certain issues from time to time? You know, I would be remiss of me to pretend I haven't seen bugs affect CSGO tournaments or StarCraft tournaments, or, you know, it's something that seems to be unique to esports. So is there any way Riot could have, maybe prevented this, or are we occasionally going to have to take one on the chin?
I understand, taking one on the chin. I can understand with the keyboard issues. They were solved relatively quickly. But when it comes to Gragas, like you made the point of, he is a vital champion to any team nowadays. It's either him or Rek'Sai or someone else. Rek'Sai and Gragas are the two most contested jungles, or Elise. And to have him removed from the game this late in the tournament, where it is this is almost as serious as it can be. The next is the semi-finals, and then on to the finals. So, I mean, there's been a lot of talk on Twitter. I mean, I know Amazing from Origin's been talking about Volibear or someone coming up, filling. It's just going to swing things, and I just don't know. Like I said, I can accept a few technical difficulties, but when it's something as serious as this, like it's down to their code, it's down to the Riot's infamous spaghetti code. I don't. It makes me.
No, sorry. Go on. Finish your point.
I was just going to say, it's the spaghetti code is infamous, and I don't understand how they could put out a product that's this broken and then portray it, and then not portray it, use it on the world stage.
The thing is that seems odd to me, and this is the point I haven't find anyone sort of make a coherent counter argument to. If by Riot's admission the bug is so rare,
why is it happening to three champions?
Right, but not only that though. If the bug specifically for Gragas is so rare, why do they need to disable it for the rest of the championship then? What are the odds of it happening again? Because if they're saying it's this 1 in a million bug that can't be replicated, then why would you need to ban the champion?
This is the point. I mean, he was enabled for the next couple of games. They didn't disable him right there and then. He was enabled and there was no problems. So disabling him, I can see why they'd think that, but then, like I just said, he was enabled for the rest of the games that day. And it's hard to really think about what will happen now. Like, I know, it's a bit weird.
Do you think it undermines the whole tournament? Is it that much of a big deal, or
so late in the game? Like, it's getting to a serious point in the tournament. It is serious. These the quarters, semis, finals. I'm just glad that it happened so late in the tournament rather than at the very beginning. I mean, a lot of teams will build Gragas into their composition, and to have him to be removed, I mean, he's strong on that patch that they're playing on, but then a lot of other junglers can be. So I'd like to see how teams are going to work around him, like being banned. I mean, I know Ziggs and Lux are with the other two, I think, and they're not as bad.
Yeah, well, they're not in the meta.
They're not in meta, so it really wouldn't be unless anyone wanted to flag pick it. But I just can't believe that something like this has happened, really. I mean,
well,
I knew about the spaghetti code.
Well, here's the thing. Everyone keeps talking about the spaghetti code, right? Now, I think even Riot have had to embrace the fact that... I can't remember what phrase they use for it. What is it? They start with a tech deficit, I think it is. I think that's the phrase they use whenever they talk about it. So... they talk about this tech deficit, and it's something that's obvious, and it's something that's real, and it's something they're going to have to deal with. But they're allegedly in the process of... I mean, I know they've announced that they're recoding the client, which is great because the client's a piece of shit. But they are going to get round to either recoding the game, or as I said, they're making hires at the moment to make a sequel for League internally. That they're just calling it League 2. And this is, of course, backpedaling. They said they would never make a sequel to League, but I wouldn't think of it as a sequel. I think of it as what they're going to do is they're going to build a game that's actually workable this time, instead of just knocking out a piece of quickly made trash because they want to capitalize on the free-to-play mobile market and fill the vacuum of the absence, the requirement of a standalone Dota mod. So. All of that said, I'll just quickly ask you your final thoughts. I mean, has it ruined Worlds for you? And do you think that at this stage it has the potential to undermine the whole tournament? Or is it honestly not? It's a disappointing but not that big a deal?
First thing I'd like to say is they're finally putting the games in Riot Games. But secondly, I don't think it's ruined the whole tournament. I just think overall I'm just a bit disappointed. I just might just be me, but I played a lot of Gragas and I did enjoy seeing him getting played at competitive. I thought he was a really good champion, and like I said, I do play a lot of the champion when I used to play. I don't really play League actually that much anymore, but I think it's just something we have to get on with. But like I said, it's weird how Riot will use they'll use League of Legends on the world stage, even though there is potential for something like this to happen. I don't think it'll ruin Worlds. I think teams will have to given the time that they've got, will have to rethink some of their comps. I mean, I'd like to see now how teams are going to play without him. I mean, Rek'Sai is going to be a hot pick now. Like Rek'Sai and Elise, they're definitely two that are going to be picked.
I mean,
But I
for
guess that's
me,
it.
I'd like to see Riot, instead of using all this time in the build up to Worlds, kind of focusing all this attention on, I don't know, all the bullshit that Riot do. Perhaps they could focus some of the attention to eliminating some bugs that are likely to come up. I mean, for a few months in advance, you have a good idea of what the meta is going to be, which champion is going to be contested picks, and all you have to do is do some sort of in-house testing to make sure there aren't any bugs around these hotly contested champions. It really isn't rocket science. Anyway, look, Chris, thanks a lot for kicking off the show. I'll wish you a good evening, and I hope you'll call in
Anytime.
again sometime.
All right. See you guys later.
Take care, buddy. All right. So, Sam, can we get these cameras fixed? Because as much as I love looking at Anders' cum face, it is a bit triggering for me. So what's going on?
I don't know.
I thought we were going to get through a show without any tech
someone's
problems.
DDoSing our Skype thing, and it's because it keeps dropping out barely, but I don't know, mate. We'll see. Try and restart your camera. We'll see how we go.
Well, there we go. There we go. I have restarted it multiple times.
It ain't doing shit for me, homie. Right, hang on. Oh, wait. I'll just recall you in a sec, right?
Okay.
See how this goes. See, guys, this is a DDoS protection. If we didn't have this, you'd just see a black screen right now. At least you get to watch us get wrecked. Surely this is more entertaining. Oh, yeah, he's not answering. He's not answering. Isn't the stroking out Anders enough for you people? Jesus. Hang on. We're gonna fix this, guys. We'll fix this without Richard. No, I'm doing it. I'm fixing it. Not even gonna go to break. I don't even respect you guys enough to go to break. You can just hear me click for a few minutes. We're almost there, guys. Calm down. I know, guys, it hurts. We're almost there. It's almost over. Apparently I'm already logged in. Yep, sound. Yep, sound, because that's definitely true. It's almost over. Shh, 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 shh. It's almost over. There we go. We're coming back. It's happening. Get ready. It's going to be nice and clear, like you've never seen before. There we go, mate. And
Right,
we're
we're
back.
back.
We're good, mate.
Right, let's get back on air then.
No, we're already on air, mate.
Oh, even better. Just as well I didn't enter into one of my racist and anti-woman diatribes that I like to do when no one's around. But yeah, I'm glad it's all fixed, brother. That's good to know. So anyway, let's talk about some of the points that chat brought up. I mean, as I said, I'm not so interested in the Gragas aspect of things. It's worth talking about, but here's the reality. This is what happens when you code your game like absolute dog shit and you just basically grow and grow and grow and you never address the elephant in the room. More and more of these farcical things are going to happen. But as I said during the call, it would be wrong of me to say that it's just a Riot problem. It happens to a much lesser extent in other games. I mean, we all remember the boost on Overpass in the Fnatic LDLC game, which, I mean, on the one hand, sure, Valve maybe can't foresee every boost that's going to be on a map, but maybe you should. Maybe you should be looking into it. And certainly the admins could have stopped that from blowing up as big as it did. and they didn't. They weren't proactive, and we ended up with a horrible kind of footnote to the major. The Olaf Pass, as it was called, or Boost Gate, depending on whereabouts you're from with it. But anyway, the thing I'm interested in is the creepy shit that was going on at the World Finals, because you talked about this, Sam, when you were there.
What creepy shit?
So, what do you mean, what creepy shit? Come on, the tweet.
Fill me in, man. All right, yeah. Right.
So you've got to tell this story.
Yeah, this is really weird. Right, so I went to this with the Daily Dot, my good friend Josh Raven, mate. We're doing some video interviews, and you've been to many a press room, right? The bare minimum of press room is water, maybe some sort of tea and coffee, but just water. I'm happy, and some sort of toilet. So you get there, just like no, it's no water. There's a tea and coffee machine, but it's not plugged in, and we can't use it. So we go in there, and it's like, so can we have water? Went to like security people, like, oh no, we can't give you water. Like, what do you mean? I mean, you can, because this is the first world. What do you mean you can't give me water? It's like, no, can't give you water, mate. Not allowed it. It's like, all right. He's like, why not? You can't go in that catering room till 7, because that's when the caterers come. So you're not allowed in there. And we can see water, and he's like, yeah, but can't. All right, and can you go get me that water? He's like, we're not allowed to give you water until 7 o'clock. So then Josh, all he tweets, I was like, love this press room, not even allowed water. In about 30 seconds later, someone from Riot comes over, he goes, Josh, touches Josh's arm. She's like, Josh, I don't even care about the tweet, Josh, okay? But anything you need, just come to me first, okay? I don't care about the tweet, you don't even have to delete it, Josh. Okay, but just come to us, please. Just, okay? Okay, Josh? And then, tell you what, mate, minute later, everything's sorted, got our tea, our coffee, our water, mate. Everything's good.
Fucking unreal, isn't it? Like, why are they monitoring?
I was trying to explain to Josh how that's weird. I don't know if he's getting sucked in, mate, but he's just like, what? I don't even get it. Literally, like 30 seconds after, it's okay, Josh. You haven't even got to delete the tweet. Shh, I don't care, Josh.
Was that Lisa that assaulted Groscore?
No, I think it was Nicola Piglet. I think.
Right. I see. I've always found her functional to work with. I've never had a problem with her, actually. Yeah. She always has a face like a smacked ass whenever she sees me, but you know, I mean, that's just everyone from Riot does. Like, you should hear some of the shit they say about me. It's so funny. But yeah, like, that is pretty fucking abnormal, isn't it? Yeah. That is really fucking abnormal.
It really creeped me out. It was more like mind. No, you're not.
I don't even mind about the tweet.
Just disappointed.
We're not mad at you, Josh. We're not mad at you. We just want to let you know that you don't have to delete the tweet ever.
That was like a weekend-long bender as well, and then it was like, what the fuck is going on here? Just mad. It's okay, Josh. Shh. It's okay.
Were there any other stories you could tell us from that time? Anything you could share? I'm pretty sure you must have one or two.
The way you say that, I'm assuming you're trying to cue me into something. So go on, mate.
I'm not cueing you into something. I just want to know, mate. The problem is, obviously, I know there's some stories you can never tell them. They must be taken to your grave. So
there always.
Yeah, there always are. Yeah. So, but what about some of the other ones? Give me some other of Sam's observations about being in the Lions Den, being surrounded by rioters and shit.
Weirdly, right. When I say this, it's gonna make me sound like a weird cunt, right? But everyone is ridiculously nice, and it's fucking creepy, man. Like, everyone is just, hey, so good to meet you, man. Hey, what's up, dude? Yeah, Riot Games, dude. Yeah. It's like, what is this? Make it stop. Like, people you've never met before. Does that make me crazy? Is it bad that I think it's weird that everyone's nice?
Yeah, I detest that saccharine bullshit as much as you probably.
Really,
like, it really it really fucking annoys me too, brother. Like, I just, I don't. It's still gonna finally meet you. It's not.
Yeah. Is it, mate?
It really isn't. But that's just the sort of. I mean, that's an American thing. I think Britishness, we like to be a bit more reserved and honest and on point, and then sort of in working class areas like ours, we'd rather just be like, all right, mate.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? I always think the best example of this was when Frodan. For those that know Frodan, you love this, don't you? You love this.
one of the best moments
yeah.
of my esports life, mate. So
Right,
good.
so Sam's there and Thorin's there, and they're at an airport, and I think they just touched down.
Yeah.
And Frodan's there as well for the same event. Now you might know Frodan from Hearthstone, or I think he was around StarCraft 2 before that, and yeah, he's got some pedigree, he's got some history. He was with ESGN, so he got fucked over by those guys. Anyway, he went up to Thorin and he said, "Oh, hi, Thorin. It's Frodan here. I'm a really big fan." And extended his hand, and Thorin just went, "Good." Good. It's
it was
fucking
so
brilliant,
good.
mate.
I
The
literally
thing is, well, like,
exploded when he said that. Because he had his
The
hand
thing is, like-
reached out for a handshake, he just went, good.
the thing is, like, when I asked Thorin about that, mate, he was just like, "I don't know him."
Yeah, it's fucking
As
hilarious.
if that just explains everything. Like, what a fucking legend. Like, so anyway, we'll do another call, and then we'll get into a new segment. A new segment for the show. My camera's a little bit pixelated at the moment, but I don't care about that. The show must go on. The
It's a
DDoSes will
good
never
show.
win.
You can't just get
Exactly. Tax me $1,000. So let's do a caller. Who have we got, Sam?
Okay, next we have Eraser, and they want to talk about the potential of monthly subscriptions coming in for the CS:GO circuits.
Yes, indeed. Hi, is that Eraser?
Yeah, that's me. Hi.
Hey, how you doing, buddy? Thanks a lot for calling in. So you want to talk about monthly subscriptions and how they might come into the CS:GO circuit. So tell me a little bit about what you're envisioning, what's going on in your brain at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, what struck me the other day as I was just like pondering this, with all the groupings that we've been seeing lately, like the ESL, DreamHack, partnership, etc., ESEA, and then the rest of the guys like MLG, and then we have the Turner League and whatnot. What would you say to the idea of them sort of introducing a concept akin to what we have, for example, in the Premier League, where you pay a monthly subscription to watch the games? Let's just say, one of these leagues might get exclusivity with some teams or whatever, and so you'd have to pay, I don't know, what's the Turner League, 20 weeks, chuck up $50 to watch your favorite CS:GO teams.
Well, here's the thing. I've said this actually on another show. So you're very close to my sort of line of thinking about this. I don't know if you were around in esports when MLG tried pay-per-view.
Yeah, exactly. That's another thing.
Right.
They tried with the StarCraft events, the pay-per-view.
That's right. And then the community resoundingly pushed back against it and said it was disgraceful. Now, there's two school of thoughts on this, okay? And I'm kind of torn because on the one hand, there's the school of thought that, hey, we're the esports community. We want everything for free. We use ad block. We're not willing to support any fucking revenue streams whatsoever. And if you don't give us 1080p constantly perfect fucking streaming on fucking demand with all this ancillary programming as well, then fuck you. You're worse than Hitler and we all hope you fucking die. That's how content creators and tournament organizers and even some team managers look at the esports community and how unreasonable they can be sometimes. On the other hand, you've got the fact that this is a very delicate ecosystem. It's very finely balanced. And if you start introducing things like pay-per-view and the model isn't sustainable and people can't afford it or don't want to pay or don't think it represents value for money, all of a sudden the problem you've got is diminishing returns. So less viewers, less ability to sell sponsorship space, less money, and the product diminishes and ends up swirling down the toilet. So I don't really know where I stand on it. I think we're going to see pay-per-view next year. I really do. I think looking at all of the companies and how things are being set up. So as you rightly say, we've got the Turner League. I don't think to begin with that would be pay-per-view. But of course, if you want to watch it domestically on it's going to be on a cable channel. You would need a cable subscription. I think it's going to be broadcast online as well, although I've had no official feedback, but I imagine there would be a Twitch partnership there because they want to grow the league and get as many eyes on it as possible, and then eventually it might migrate to their own streaming platform or whatever. So you've got that. Then you've got this Grand Prix that I just announced recently. I'm pretty sure the plan for them is once that Grand Prix is set up and it's this $5 million tournament and or tour rather, they're going to look to sell that to broadcasters, be it ESPN or anyone else. Then you've got the MTG empire with ESL and whatnot, and they're going to obviously want to be broadcasting on their TV stations, which they've got the world over. Even in Africa, it happens. So when you add all that together, it's whoever has the most desirable product, whoever has the best teams on board, whatever it might be, whatever the sort of criteria for success is, I think they'll chance their arm at pay-per-view. I think it'll be a low price to begin with. I think it might be the same price as a Twitch subscription. I think it'll represent value for money. But the point is it'll be paying for something that we've always had for free. And if you remember when Sky first introduced it in the UK, it was a low price. It was super low. It was like, hey, look, for the cost of a cup of coffee every day, you can have, fucking 90 Premier League games a year. And now we're in a situation where like a sports package is pretty much it's a luxury. It's very expensive, but they've got you hooked. So that's the concern.
Yeah, but like just thinking about it like spontaneously, don't you think that we're so spoiled at this point, that we've been given everything for free, and every time somebody's come in like MLG and Sundance and those guys did, they tried the pay-per-view, the community went all haywire and they immediately retracted it to the next event, because everybody's like, fuck this shit, I'm not paying, however much it was, $15 or whatever it was.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think that might have been set a little bit too high. If you look at some of the other kind of pay-per-view models, or indeed even just subscription models that have failed, that are a lot lower, or have been rejected, or that have been had to be made optional. But I am torn on it. It's very hard for me because, so for example, I'm one of the few guys in esports that actually endorses AdBlock. Mm-hmm. And everyone else hates me for it, and they say, Richard, AdBlock is killing the industry, and you're not supposed to support it, and it ruins everything for everyone. And I've always said, first of all, if internet ads didn't fucking suck, less people would use AdBlock. Fact number one. Fact number two, if people want a clutter-free browsing experience, they should be allowed to have it. Then you've got obviously the fact that you can. For me, it's like a choice. Like if I want to tacitly support a streamer and make sure they get money, I can turn AdBlock. I can put them on a whitelist. I can definitely do that. So it gives me the power as the consumer. So I endorse AdBlock and think it should be used. And also the other thing, the fourth point with AdBlock is that people should have better revenue streams than fucking click-through ads. If you're relying on that, your business is fucked. So I'm not particularly sympathetic. All of that said, though, I do think the esports community is spoiled. I think they get hours and hours and hours of daily content for free. They can choose whatever they want. There's always something going on Twitch. There's always a tournament somewhere. There's always ancillary programming, be it a show like this or interviews or their favorite players just playing. And sometimes, they'll be great and they'll subscribe and, that's awesome. I have subscribers. People give me extra money that I don't need, I don't ask for, and it's a wonderful gesture. I always try and do something good with it where possible. I give some of it to charity, or occasionally I might even take Sam out for dinner. Who knows, right? Like I'll do something positive with it.
I bet he likes that, doesn't he?
Mate, dinner he likes. He doesn't like my company so much.
So you take him out of the cupboard from under the staircase, yeah?
That's exactly right. That's it. He was actually my conjoined twin. We thought he was a tumor wearing a pair of glasses and a wig, but then we realised actually very quickly.
Total Recall, mate?
Quattro. You are Quattro. But anyway,
don't quote me on this, but didn't
sure.
MLG Sundance say that after the pay-per-view that even if they only got like 5,000 people buying the tickets, that they still made more money on those 5,000 people paying $15 than they did with 50,000 people watching and
therein lies the problem.
Yeah.
And therein lies the problem. That what you've got to remember is that as we hurtle towards a pay-per-view reality, the people that are consuming for free, even if they turn ad block off, pretty soon they're gonna end up finding themselves marginalized. There has to be a middle ground, because they'll be like, fuck it, I'd rather 5,000 people watch my tournament and paid than 50,000 watched it and didn't.
Yeah,
and this can be dangerous. This is where it gets problematic.
What's to stop people from migrating to other, like, startup events that are free? Then, what is it only is that where the exclusivity thing comes in? So we've tied Fnatic and NIP and Envious to this league, for example.
Exactly right. Because here's the thing, think about how it works in just sports globally, and that is the Premier League is a desirable product because it's got the best fucking football teams in England, and it's considered the best league, the most fast-paced, action-packed league to watch, and because that TV money goes in, those clubs can consolidate that position. They go out and they get better sponsors as a result of it. They spend that money on flashy foreign imports. So all of a sudden, now you get to see the best foreign players playing in an English league. And where there was one or two, back in the day, back when we had the Burkamps and the Cantonars and the Zolas, and then a little bit later the Henrys. Now it's a plethora of talent. Really, in Spain, outside of 4 teams, really, there isn't this sort of you don't get international stars playing for the clubs. So this is how. This is how it would happen in CSGO. It would be the first league that decides to go pay-per-view would be, even with a modest projection, we would be willing to pay each of you teams a very sizable return to commit exclusively to this league. So we can say the only place you're going to see NIP is in this league. The only place you're going to see Fnatic is in this league. You're going to have to pay $5. You're going to have to pay $5. Simple as that.
Exactly.
You want to see play over 10 weeks, you're going to have to do it. And here's the thing. There'll be a backlash. People will hate it. But people hated it with football. People went out with placards and picketed and tried to stop it. In the end, though, you pay the money because it's your team. And you want to see your boys play. So you fucking pay the money. And that's the thing. Once they lock the teams in, they got all the fans for all of those teams by the balls. And this is where you need scrupulous team owners. Now, unfortunately, what we know is the vast majority of team owners, they're happy to sell to the highest bidder, mate. They're really happy to do it.
It's not like they're making millions or whatever.
Well, no, they're not. But equally, I think you've got an ethical obligation. Like, sure, it's a business. Sure, it's a brand. But that brand doesn't just belong to you solely. It's the same with sports, like I'm a Newcastle United fan for my sins. Do you support a team?
Yeah, I'm a Chelsea fan.
Right, okay. So you're a Chelsea fan. Now that you might have supported them a long, long time. You might remember Chelsea.
Early 1990s.
Before Abramovich.
Yeah,
exactly. So what was that when Glenn Hoddle was manager?
Yeah, pretty much.
Right, okay. So round about then. So Chelsea belongs to you. You were there when they were playing and they had the old shed end and the old fucking Stamford Bridge was a fucking shithole. The brand belongs to you, right? You're part of it. You've grown up with that. You'll support them until the day you die. And hopefully that's a long and full life of supporting Chelsea. Now, because of that, you need agency. You need to be able to see them. You need to be able to attend games. You need to be able to watch it on TV when you can't. That's fine. But equally, if somebody was to sort of say, okay, well, hi, I'm Abramovich. I've got bored of treating Chelsea like a toy now, so I've sold exclusive rights to Chelsea to only be broadcast on Saudi Arabian TV. But don't worry, you can get a subscription for a low price of £50 a month or £100 a month to watch all of the games, whatever it is. That really sells the fans short. It's great for the owners. It's great for the shareholders. And that's the situation we're in at the moment with esports. Nobody's really thinking about the fans. The fans, as always, are just numbers.
Well,
numbers to be converted into money.
Not only the fans though, but the players as well. Like, just look at this fanatic bullshit that's been going on, you know, where they sort of say that, you know, we basically own you. So it kind of feels like the teams are willing to do a lot of shady shit as long as they can get away with it. As long as nobody like susses them out or whatever, you know, they're fine with treating the players like dog shit, you know, and just fucking the fans over. Yeah, not all teams, obviously, but you know, and so yeah, like what's to say when Turner League comes along and says, you know, here's a couple of $1 million or whatever to play exclusively in our league and be broadcasted on American TV.
Yeah, exactly.
What's to stop the teams from going like, fuck yeah, you know, great deal.
That was why the teams were in a meeting with ESL and Vulcan the first time an exclusivity league got talked about. They were open to the idea, and they're still open to the idea. That's why MTG can have talks with teams right now, and that's the word on the street. That's why I guess if this little Grand Prix circuit with the PGLs and the Gfinities and the Star Ladders and the MLGs, if they wanted to say, look, this is a 5 million, maybe we bump it up to 9 million if you guys go exclusive.
Yeah.
You know, that's the prize that's there, but you can only play in this league and the Valve majors. I mean, there was even talk that people were trying to make it exclusive and cut teams out of the majors. Get your head
so they weren't allowed to attend a single Valve major. So let's say they were tied to the they were tied to the MTG conglomerate, you know, that's the only place you would see them, and they couldn't even go to a Valve major.
Apparently one of the ideas that was being bandied around was it was so exclusive you weren't even going to be allowed to go to a major. Now this is where it gets hilarious, because obviously Valve are going to be like, well, hang on, we own the fucking game, so about that. Like, if we want to play, we've got cards, we can play here. So, but the teams are clearly open to this sort of discussion, and that's where I worry. I think we could end up with a very fractured esports scene in 2016, where I think what could potentially happen is we have 50% of the elite level teams playing in one league or ladder, not necessarily exclusively, but they will never meet the other 50% of elite level teams who have agreed to an exclusivity deal unless they happen to play each other at the majors. And you would end up with this, like, you know, two worlds ultimately, which would suck.
So do we end up with a situation where it's sort of like, you know, we put our hopes to Valve to sort of, you know, not let these people fuck us over too badly? Is that what we'll end up with?
Well, I don't know, brother. I mean, I think we need to have, you know, more industry watchdogs. And here's the thing. I mean, look, I'll be honest about it. I'm not going to be that watchdog for much longer. When you know, I've already had a lot of talks. I went to Breitbart specifically because there I can write the kind of articles I don't get to write anywhere else. There I get to work with Milo. That was on my bucket list of things to do. I consider him just one of the greatest trolls of all time. But not, and I say that lovingly. Not only that, I consider him a great mind and a great contrarian in the classic sense. I really wanted to work with him. And that's what moving to Breitbart was ultimately about, being able to work with him on a project. And I get to do that for however many months. But when a mainstream...
And you got to fuck up. And you got to say fuck off to all the haters as well who didn't want you to
exactly.
You know, the article says that
Richard Lewis is so negative about the League of Legends community.
Well, now I'm a neo-Nazi as well.
Exactly.
And
you hate women.
I'm obviously white power.
Never
I hate
forget.
women. I'm white power. Yeah, all of these things. But here's the beauty of it. When, like, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to give it my all, and they've been great to work with so far. But when the mainstream sports publications come in and they're looking for an esports expert to go on TV, do video content. I'm in pole position to take that job, and I'm going to take that job, and I'm going to take
level 6 Skrilla.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna take whoever puts the highest fucking bid on the table, and I'm gonna fucking love it, and I'm not gonna look back. And so when that happens, this is what has to stop. Trash talk will stop.
Yeah.
All of the shows I do will stop. The YouTube videos will stop because this will be in my contract. I'll have to stop it.
Yeah.
There'll probably be an intern running my Twitter, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what these
that's how it works.
Insist
Yeah,
on.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
you can't have opinions, right? I mean, you have to be sanitized.
Exactly. And then what happens is, unfortunately, the journalism has to stop because I'll be an anchor or a host, or maybe I'll be writing sports reports or comedy. I don't know what the future holds, but I know the kind of work I'm doing now will stop, and someone needs to step up and take over. And unfortunately, there's no one there. So this is, I guess, the reality is the community is going to have to police itself. The community is going to have to be mature. It can't openly reject out of hand a pay-per-view, because if you say, "Oh, pay-per-view is bad," what if some small organic company that needs to make a return and is producing a really good product? Let's say PGL, okay?
Face it.
PGL.
Face it is a great example. Like,
right,
you're
absolutely right.
From the Quake days, like, where they came from. Like, I remember DDK casting Quake for 15 viewers or whatever on Face It.
Yeah. So let's say Face It are there. They've got their own studio now, and let's say they decide to run leagues and tournaments. The only way they can do it is by doing pay-per-view. Now, I can't think of a good reason why anyone would be like, well, fuck Face It, because they're one of the few success stories in the esports space. I remember them when they were a startup, and I told them, I joke about this every time I see them. I had a conversation with them all, and I said, it's really good to work with you guys, and I love all you guys, but, in a year, this isn't going to be here. There'll be no Face It, and you're going to be another esports failure. So just, I told you guys. I told you guys. And I said, I hope I'm wrong. Right. And I do. Obviously, I hate being right. It sucks.
Of course. Yeah.
And we were all very upfront about it. And here they are now. And they're one of the few genuine successes. And every time I see them, I bring it up. I bring it up with them, and I just say, you showed me, and it's great. And they're an incredible success with incredible staff, and they clearly know what they're doing. So why would
like you said, they are like the only success story as well.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone else, ESGN, everyone else,
they took venture capital, they burned it all, and then they fucked off. So.
It's unreal. So, but that's the thing. So then people are like, well, okay, maybe you get on board with that, maybe you don't. But let's say somebody that a little bit more nefarious gets involved. Let's say ESL put this exclusivity league in place that I know they feel they have to explore the option to do.
Yeah, they
to
desperately
their
want to be,
line.
The market leader, was it?
Yeah, industry leader. Yeah,
that's the one.
Yeah. So let's say they go down that road. And then they put pay-per-view in place. Well, I wouldn't necessarily support that. I would need to be convinced there would be a good reason to do that. And I hope the community would feel the same way as well. But you never know how the community is going to go. So bringing it all back, while we wrap up the call, I think pay-per-view can work. I think the subscription model is a very honest model when it is pure, and when it is fair, and when it represents value for money. There is nothing more honest than saying, we will give you this if you pay us this. The Patreon model that I use is effectively a pay-per-view model. It's, if you give me the money, I'll make you the content. And I'll try and make the content and not break my promises.
And if if a sufficient amount of people pays, the rest of them can watch for free or whatever. But
basically that's ultimately how it works. Although Patreon guys get some perks or whatever. So I'm trying to offer that value for money for those that can afford it. And you're right, actually, everybody still gets to watch the content. So there's a bit of a democratization going on there. It's almost like a communist type thing. Like if you can afford to pay, everybody gets to watch, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
So
as opposed to pay-per-view, then, because only the people who paid watch over there.
Yeah. So but I think in its purest form, the pay-per-view model is great. But the problem is, what people then do is they charge you an amount that isn't a fair return or isn't realistic. But they don't have a great product to begin with, and it's not worth the money. They get greedy and they slowly and steadily increase it each season because it was good and they know you're going to come back. And when these things start happening, that's when it's problematic. That's when people need to push back on that. For the Sky TV, and I fucking pay a fortune for that, and I only really watch the Newcastle games if I'm honest. But I like to have the option.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the thing. I'm hooked in. I'm an idiot. I've become a middle class idiot with too much money, basically.
Yep.
And
I'm paying that subscription.
Exactly. If I had principles, I would cancel that subscription and go fuck it. But I like to watch Newcastle lose because I'm an idiot.
Yeah, just to tie into what you said in the beginning of the call there, like it is really fragile. If it's done right, sure, I think it can succeed. But hell, who knows? With the track record that esports has, boy, am I worried.
Yeah, well, look, man, I want to say thanks for a wonderful call. It was great to get your thoughts about it. It's an important topic, and it's one that's only going to get more and more important in 2016. I'll get Sam to add you onto the whitelist of callers. Anything that's ever on your mind, Eraser, you just call in, and we'll get you on the show. Really appreciate it.
Cheers. Thanks. Loving your content,
No worries.
Richard. Keep it up.
Thanks a lot, brother. Appreciate it. Look after yourself. So there we go. That's the kind of call we like on Trash Talk, Sam, isn't it?
That was good, mate. All me. I picked that.
Yeah. Yeah, all right, good for you. We'll increase your bonus. You get an extra 1% of the Patreon money. Sound. But no, I mean, I'll ask you because you've said some startling things in the past, things that don't make a lot of sense to me. Like when we were doing the call, I can't remember what episode it was, but we were talking about production value.
Still true.
And you said, hey, I'm not even necessarily saying I did. Well, I kind of disagree and agree, but anyway, we won't get into that. But you were like, hey, no one gives a shit. Like, it's just all you need to see is the fucking games and the bare minimum and blah blah blah. So where do you stand on the issue of pay-per-view?
The thing about pay-per-view is now we'd be working backwards. And we've been telling these people that it's okay to get free content for the last I don't know 7 years. Is that how long it's been only pay-per-view? I'm trying to think because we started trying to do pay-per-view at the start, then it just went all free. And if we try and work backwards, I think we've just got a generation of spoiled fucking consumers at this point. And they're just like, but I've been getting this for free. But maybe then is when maybe people who want the extra production value, maybe they would pay for it. But again, I don't think anyone cares enough, especially not to pay for it.
I honestly think if it's done right and it's done respectfully, it could be a good thing for the industry. I do think the industry needs to grow up just a little bit, not a lot. I don't want us to be super serious. Everybody knows this. I don't want us to be wearing fucking ties and jerking each other off about how fucking professional we all are. I don't want that. Right? What I do want though is I want the people that consume content to realize. The way you get better content is for it to be worthwhile for the persons that create it. The way you get a better viewing experience is for there to be a profit so you can reinvest better equipment, better technology, better staff. Okay? What people want is they want this mind-blowing production value for free all of the time. And there is no model. It didn't work like that in television. All right? It can't work like that. It just doesn't, and it won't. There has to be a return. I mean, can you imagine movie makers? Right, great. Just secured a $300 million budget to make the fucking sequel to Avatar, which is a piece of shit movie. And I've never understood why. Do you know when you get all those porn ads? Oh, mate.
Yeah, you're just saying that because it's been mad overhyped. But if you just took the movie based on, it's cool. It wasn't bad.
What are you talking about? Apart from the fucking Fern Gully thing, Right. Oh my god. They called the rarest mineral in the fucking known universe unobtainium.
I can't even remember.
Just please don't trigger me. You can't think it's good, Sam.
It's not bad, I said. You're mad triggered, mate.
You can't.
You've gone
It is
full
bad.
media student fag, mate. It's so shit.
Unobtainium! Unobtainium, Sam!
Yeah, you've just gone full
It sounds like
angst teen,
It
you
sounds
are,
like the title of a Peter Andre song. Yes, he wrote Insania,
Alright, mate,
where
get
he
your
combined.
berry. Go put your berry on, mate.
He combined the word insane and mania to make Insania.
Don't care. Wasn't bad, mate. You're just full berry wearing mong.
Dude, I can't help you, man. So, but anyway, I don't even know where I was going with this. Oh yeah, so we're making a sequel to Avatar, $300 million, okay?
So
And I would know, but what I was actually going to say before you even triggered me with trying to make out Avatar isn't one of the worst movies ever made, which it is, was have you ever noticed those pop-ups? I guess you go on porn sites.
oh, the alien sex pop-ups.
Yeah, why is there always some blue chick with a massive fat dick like railing someone?
Boy, demon
Like-
dick.
No, but here's the thing. You obviously liked Avatar. Have you ever wanted to get railed by a female blue alien from Avatar with a massive dick?
Nah, yeah. Pretty sure we've
Was
sent
that-
this link to each other, by the way. I remember sending you the video of that alien bitch getting railed home. I remember.
Hey, look, the only
Can we show that on stream?
no, we definitely
Show
can't.
that on stream?
I don't think we can.
Alien dick
but no,
too far.
yeah, I think alien dick has gone too far. But what was I going to say? Did you? I mean, obviously, there's all this gaming themed porn. You'll have seen World of Warcraft, obviously.
No,
No,
no.
dude, it's awesome. World
Was
of
it
Warcraft.
actually
they're-
in game or something? Or they just dressed as a
No. They're dressed like that, right? So you've got this. If I remember rightly, there's one episode with a female elf, and she's got like the pointy ears going on. I don't even know what's happening in the storyline, but she has to suck off an orc.
There's a storyline.
Yeah, it's
What
World of
is my
Warcraft.
quest?
It's World of Warcraft.
Orc dick. Sal.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's like you must suck 10 dicks and you level up or something. I don't know. No, the point is, there's a storyline going on, and she has to suck this orc's dick for whatever. And mate, it's fucking intense, right? Like, the fucking elf is like gamming this big green dick, right? And
Gamming.
we're gamming.
That's what I was about to say.
I knew it, man. I knew it. So she's gamming this big green dick, right? But the orc, is obviously a dude. It's not a real orc. And he's got all the teeth in. And he's going, like giving it all of that shit, right? Like proper, like snarling. And he's going full Lord of the Rings. This cunt's going for the Oscar, you know what I mean? You got to check it out, mate. It's brilliant.
Is it a human
Anyway.
dick, or is it just mad fake orc dick?
No. The thing is, it is a human dick, but I think they greened it up a little.
Tidy. Keeping it real.
Well, it wouldn't look real, would it? Look, you'd be disappointed if an orc went to get his fucking
Pasty white
dick
knob
out,
out.
and instead of fucking Garrosh Heldong, you get some tiny little white chode. Like it would, that would ruin it for me. That would ruin it for me. Fuck it, I'm zipping up. This is shit.
What is
Anyway,
that?
so the point is, right. So you get $300 million, and you're making a sequel to Avatar, right? This is where we get back to esports. This is the trail back to esports, and they're like, "Wicked, that's going to be great. It's going to be so good." What could the rare mineral be called this time? I don't know, super hard to get him. And right, great, we've done that, and they make the movie, and then they're like, okay, well, everyone will want to come and see this, and then the entire movie-going community goes, Yeah, but we don't want to pay for tickets. We're really super hyped to watch the film, but we ain't gonna go to a cinema to do it, and we're definitely not hiring it on DVD when it comes out either. Like we're all unilaterally gonna pirate it. Well, that might be like, haha, fuck you, don't make sequels to pieces of shit. But that's $300 million with like no return. That's just gone into the pan. Yeah, you just pissed that away. And guess what? No $300 million movies get greenlit again. And we miss out on some cool ones as a result. Say no. Yeah, that's the point I'm making.
What we got from the stories, you're just mad. You're a mad, triggered, angsty teen who's studying media. The only films I enjoy are Pulp Fiction and Sin City, man.
It's so current.
That's
so current. Like, fucking hell, do you still have Betamax in your house? That's just like, yeah, because you've referenced Total Recall. I was a kid when these films come out. You weren't even born. What's wrong with you? You're obviously
watching Pulp Fiction as a kid is why I'm like this now.
It does explain a few things. So the point I was going to make was obviously there's loads of great gaming themed porn out there. And I talked about this on Unfiltered, and I definitely want to talk about on my own show, so it goes into YouTube and it's committed there forever. And I've told you about this, but I want to make and I've written a script for a esports themed porn movie.
Fucking hell,
dude! And now's the time to get it made. I wrote it in 2007, and it was called Clan Bang. And it's fucking, honestly, there's lines in it, where like, yeah, he's having sex against the door with the woman, and one of the guys is watching going, wow, he just door banged that bitch,
As if this is real.
You feel me?
Nah.
No, but this is where it gets real good. So after Clan Bang, right, I've got the sequel already made, okay?
Yeah.
Lan Bang.
So.
And the tagline is, you said they could only do it online. And we
do it at LAN.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we take the original actors from Clan Bang and we take them to a LAN. And actresses as well, obviously. Yeah, we take them to a LAN and we get real gamers to fuck the people from Clan Bang. And it's Lan Bang.
Jesus Christ.
What are you saying Jesus Christ for?
Because, mate, have you seen the... Right, imagine an iSeries now. Imagine the beef, mate. Imagine the smell. That will just turn me off women for life. Imagine the beefy Dorito smell, mate.
We'd be doing a service, though.
You could taste it in the air.
Do you know how much? Do you know how much money? Here's you, like, hey Richard, maybe if we build up the YouTube channel, we'll make more than 50 pence. This is a gold mine.
Is it though,
mate?
Well, the problem with that is we're in esports, so that means nobody would pay for it.
Press 1 if you would buy, or at the very least, torrent.
Yeah. There we go.
Clan Bang. Right. Watch all these ones. Watch all these ones, mate. Just watch these ones. They're coming. I'm going to drink while the ones come.
An iSeries that smells like sweat and regret. Basically every iSeries, pretty much.
Yep. Look at that. Look at that.
Sound.
We've already made a profit if all of them people do it.
How much are we paying these, like, 3 women to fuck 400 sweat?
Have you seen how cheap it is to make a porn, mate?
Who are you buying?
Well, obviously it's not going to be top tier talent, is it? Mate, it's fucking Clan Bang. It's not going to. We're not going to get. I don't even know who's good anymore. Riley.
Probably get this done on Fiverr.
I don't know. We're not doing it on Fiverr. We'll get that bird who likes girlfriend.
Yeah, she'll be up for it.
She will be up for it. You can pay £5 to watch her burst balloons in leggings. She'll love a bit of fucking Clan Bang. Anyway, the reason I'm saying this here is so nobody can rip me off. This is copyright. I own this intellectual property. Okay?
Is that
so,
is that how it works?
Yeah, it does. It does. I can now demonstrably prove that it was my idea.
Right,
if someone goes and makes it. So, yep. So let's do one more call.
One more.
Not one more overall, but let's do a call.
I have a great one, mate. A personal favourite of mine, Thomas Swaggerty. Currently, apparently, hopped up on opiates, and he wants to talk about.
Right. Let me just go get a beer. I'm gonna need a beer.
Okay.
I'm gonna need a beer. You just entertain the punters. If we're bringing on someone who's hopped up on opiates, like I've got to get mentally ready. Okay.
Thomas Swaggerty is a resident drug expert. For everyone who doesn't know, whenever we talk about Adderall or anything else that involves your mind getting fucked, he's always great. And he wants to talk about cash drops, keystrokes, the foggy future of competitive gaming in virtual reality. Jesus, so a drugged up man wanting to talk virtual reality. This is going to be a good one. Well, Thomas, you there? Thomas?
Yes.
Okay. Just sounded very distant.
What's up?
Nothing much. How are you?
Stuff.
Just waiting for Richard to come back. There we go.
Ah.
Bring me the opiates. Hello?
I have opiates.
Hey, here we go. How you doing, brother? You all right?
I'm good.
Awesome. So you're on opiates. What would you like to talk about?
I want to talk about virtual reality.
So.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've been like poking at you on various media to see if you know anything about it, and the conclusion I came to was pretty much no. So I guess I'll be talking here.
Yeah, well, that probably would be true. But I mean, I've been incredibly busy. I've been in a very entrenched position, fighting my various wars, and of course, writing various stories, plus starting a new job and getting prepped for the major. And I've also had a ridiculous schedule of late. So I apologize if I've missed anything. But yeah, so let's talk about it then.
Yeah, you haven't actually missed anything. That's like the main thing that I got going here. So just to outline like what's happening in the next 6 months, virtual reality is going to happen. Like, we haven't seen any major headsets released yet, and basically all of the major companies are going to release them. So Oculus is releasing their consumer version of the headset in like April. PlayStation should be releasing their headset at some point for the PS4. Valve is releasing a headset with HTC, the Vive. That's coming out, I think, the 8th of December. So really soon here. Samsung's releasing their consumer version of like the phone attachment doohickey. So all the headsets are coming out within the next 6 months. So there's going to be a lot of hardware out on the market. I want to kind of start off on a negative note, just to get that out of the way.
Sure, go.
So people have ideas about what VR is going to be, like what games are going to be popular in virtual reality. A lot of people want to play Skyrim in virtual reality. That, of course, sounds pretty fun. Wouldn't you agree?
That'd be cool.
Like roaming around in the world, completely immersed. That's not going to happen.
Fallout would be shit scary, but I'd probably still give that a go.
You would think, but not really. Yeah. Part of the problem with virtual reality is that games that are made for screens, for two-dimensional screens, are actually kind of terrible. So there's a bunch of different problems. For a game like Fallout 4, it's simply density of content. So if you're in a third-person view, you have like 30 degrees of screen in front of you. That's actually a pretty small like area, and the world can be very sparse without it being a problem. With virtual reality, instead of being 30 degrees, it's over 100 degrees of your view, which is basically all of it. And you have perfect head tracking. So you can look 360 degrees around you. So like the crappy ground textures that they have, that's like the best the computers can drive right now, are not really sufficient. They just look really awful. Another problem is movement. Now, this is an area where specifically first-person shooters are going to suffer really, really bad. Movement is bad in virtual reality. So, like,
can you explain how? In what way?
So people have the idea that virtual reality can cause a lot of nausea. Like, that's one of the tropes around it. It really doesn't, unless you move around. So as long as the ground in the game is where it is in real life, then you're perfectly fine. You can move around like Oculus and Vive. I think PlayStation, to some extent, even allow you to walk around in an area. So with the Valve's headset, you can walk around in a 15-foot by 15-foot space. Like, you can actually move around an area like that. But as soon as you try to move in a larger range, then you have that disconnect. And that disconnect is a really big problem. And there isn't really good solutions for that right now. Epic recently released a demo of like a first-person shooter kind of thing. The way that they got around the movement problem was they actually had you teleport to individual nodes. So blinking around doesn't really cause any problems in VR, as long as you're orientated roughly in the same direction as you were before. So like, we see that even simple things like moving around is a pretty big problem. Other stuff that like heads-up displays, you can't really have those because there's no obvious 2D plane to place those on. A lot of games, like I think CSGO, you're running maybe 17 miles per hour, which is kind of fast. But other games like TF2, you're running like 40 miles per hour, which even if like small amounts of movement isn't going to make you sick, something like that, a majority of people will have problems with. So you see like basic game design, like the fundamentals that all of these games are based upon don't really work anymore.
So I've heard a lot about this, how virtual reality is going to sort of kickstart this new wave of gaming. I hear that a lot when I'm at gaming events. I read in the Financial Times. Shit, I don't have it over there. I do, actually. I'm not going to touch that pile of papers. That's going to be particularly dangerous. But I've got. In fact, that's my end of year accounts. Yeah, fuck that. I don't even want to look at those right now. Tax bills are not fun, kids. But anyway, there was in the Financial Times. They were talking about the game Second Life.
Mm-hmm.
I
played that in the early 2000s.
Awesome. Well, apparently, virtual reality is going to give Second Life its second life, and I'm really psyched about this. I got a friend called Charles Winsmore, who has a lot of videos trolling Second Life players, basically griefing them, and he's brilliant at it. And I'm hoping he's going to get back involved. But apparently, virtual reality is going to make those sort of immersive games where it literally is a Second Life, more viable. I've heard that. And here's the other thing,
possibly.
That esports is going to have this influx of titles, in particular Quaker-likes, which are gonna rely on the virtual reality technology. Which I agree with you. I've had a virtual reality headset on, and I don't see how that can work.
Yeah, well, let's unpack that a little bit because you brought up two different things. One was esports and one was a social environment. The social environment is possibly the most interesting. So with normal games, we've been using the word immersion for a long time. With virtual reality, the word presence has been used the most. That's the most accurate thing that you can describe. It's actually physically moving yourself, not physically, but oh dear, I lost my words. Anyhow, you move your virtual self somewhere else, and your body doesn't know the difference. Like Valve had a demo with one of the early headsets where it was just a room plastered with Facebook, like 100-foot by 100-foot room, and they had people stand on the edge and just jump off, like, and people really couldn't do it. It was super hard for people to just take that step forward because all of their like reptilian brain is telling them, no, you really shouldn't do this. This is a super bad idea. And it was hard for them
I saw videos on YouTube of the roller coaster, the miniature train thing, and of course I was thinking, well, this must just be comparable to when you go to fucking Universal Studios and you're doing the fucking Star Wars ride or whatever it is.
If you're on a swivel chair and you like lean around, it's pretty decently close. I've done both.
Yeah,
it's close enough.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, with that presence, not only are you fooling your reptilian brain like location-wise, but there's some other really important ways. When the first consumer version was announced with Oculus, I went into a program called Converge with the headset on, and there was about 70 other people there. They maybe like 35, 40 of them had microphones. So anyone can talk. It's a large group of people online, but everyone was peaceful. Like everyone was really calm and was chill, and it felt really similar to being in an actual crowd of people. Like the small head movements that people make, it's called biological movement. Even if it's not something that looks like a human, it feels like that is a human moving that. And it sets off a lot of like deep programming in your brain to act like that's an actual human. It's something that I've never personally experienced with avatars in games. Like I've spent a lot of time with other humans in virtual spaces, but this is a different experience. So with something like Second Life, you have an actual social experience there. Something that wasn't offered before.
But what about esports? How can it possibly work, Thomas?
Yeah, esports. Okay, so John Carmack, the creator of Doom, a very prominent programmer in computers, he gave a talk at the recent Oculus Connect, and he talked about Twitch and the work that Oculus has been doing with Twitch. So Twitch apparently has been super supportive. They actually have an application for the mobile version of the Oculus Rift, the Samsung-made device. Hold on, I need to grab a drink real quick. So they have a Twitch app inside of it. And Microsoft did a bit of research that showed with dramatic content, people really didn't like to be with other humans in a virtual space. Like it didn't really add anything. But when it came to sporting content, like esports in particular, people really liked it. It had a very similar feeling to being with friends on a couch watching a big screen television up on a wall. So Twitch has invested decently heavy in this. Netflix also has an application for there. And this might be the better way of doing it to start with. There's basically like 3 different ways that you can have a multiplayer experience in virtual reality, like an esports type experience. You can either have the actual game itself be like the game engine, be in VR, the players be in VR, and then you watch it on a 2D screen. The other option is a VR game with people in VR watching the game. So like some sort of, that one's the trickiest because you basically need to have an in-client engine. There's no good way of streaming a 360-degree video. YouTube has 360-degree video. Obviously, they had that, but it's very low quality. Even at 4K, stretched around your entire field of vision, it's super bad. It's like 320 by 480, 13-inch CRT kind of resolution when it's put up that way.
So does that break immersion? Like, does that give you some sort of disconnect when you're looking at that?
Yes and no. It depends on how the video is presented. If you are inside a spherical video, it can, to a certain extent, like if it's low FPS and laggy or whatever. But if you are in a program and you have some sort of external frame reference that is high FPS, low latency, it doesn't at all. Like, you can have absolute crap content that is just pixels and guck, but if it's inside of an actual good VR environment, your body will think it's real. It'll just do the mental math. And that's why a lot of games that Oculus is looking to make are like more stylized instead of going for realism, because the pixels they're pushing in the consumer Rift, which is a little bit over 1080p actual resolution, will be equivalent pixels per second to a 4K 60 FPS video. So that's why their recommended hardware is like super duper high end, like 290 and 970 on the NVIDIA side. So not a lot of people have it.
Let's get to the important question, right? Because I have no idea there's going to be a number of aborted esports attempts with virtual reality. I don't even know what it would be. I could see some sort of grotesque combination of like a Wii Sports and virtual reality, and some motherfucker pays a bunch of money and suddenly it's like, whoa, well, we've got this guy over here doing the virtual shot put, and we all
Well, the people that you would ask would be Valve. They are the furthest down the road here. It was maybe a year and a half ago. Valve actually talked about having Dota in VR. So they had the Dota 2 map on a tabletop-sized area in a virtual environment. So you could just look down at the tabletop, you see the little champions moving around, you have your buddy sitting across from you, and you can both see the whole map, and it's like a little mini-map just on your table, which I think would be super duper cool. Like, I have friends in esports rather that I've never seen in real life. Like, I only know them from the words that they've typed to me. But if I had the ability to watch whatever game with them inside a virtual environment and it felt just like I was with them, I think that would be a pretty good experience.
Yeah, I remember hearing about this actually, which wasn't going to be my question, but fuck it, while we're here, about how they were going to have virtual spectator experiences where you could literally sit in the stands watching the sport as if you were
Slasher tweeted a photo that wasn't actually a virtual environment. That was meant to be an actual holographic Dota battlefield. I looked up. Do you know what the Dota battlefield is called? I looked it up.
No.
I couldn't find it. I don't think it actually has a name. That's a problem. But anyhow.
That is a problem, yeah.
That was meant to be an actual holographic battlefield. But you could do something like that in virtual reality very easily. Yeah, and it probably is being done.
They were talking about doing it for football, is the example that I remember. Obviously, they were showing these sort of weird fucking holographic 3D World Cup games or some shit in cinemas, and people could put headsets on, and you would, and your friend who wasn't necessarily in the fucking cinema could be there, and this is what they were talking about, like these virtual experiences where you could all be in one virtual stadium, but be in different parts of the world, see each other, interact with each other, virtually high-five each other. I mean, I don't know why anyone would want to do this, of course.
Because it feels really cool. It feels super duper cool. I think
that might be the opiates talking.
Yeah, well, Oculus has some hand controllers that like perfectly model your hands. They're basically like what the Wii U promised to be, but never was. A perfect execution of that. And I haven't seen anyone have a negative review of it. I've watched maybe like 30 or 40 impressions videos, and everyone comes out of it with a giant smile on their face after they've done it. It's really weird and magical. It probably like grows old after a bit, but at least to start with, it's a very nice gimmick to have like accurate hands that you can play with another human. Yes, that way probably also VR porn is going to be awesome. But
so look, here's the real question I want to ask you, Thomas. The real shit, right? Because I don't really care about esports, even though I pretend to, and I've done it for 10 years, and I'm living a lie. I'm like a gay man trapped in a marriage, basically. It's for appearance's sake. What I really care about is drugs and expanded consciousness. So, virtual reality combined with super strong psychedelics or hallucinogenics.
Okay, so from my experience so far, it isn't that special.
But could we get there? Is what I'm saying. Could we?
I have the headset. I have the drugs. I've done it. So if you're asking.
Okay, so I don't know what your psychedelic or hallucinogenic of choice is at the moment, or what you have access to at the moment. But again, the technology is still, young, right? So
absolutely, this generation of headset is not good enough to achieve presence. That word that I used before. The next generation that is going to be released is actually like 3 generations. It's been 2 years. That one has sustained presence all the time. You put on the headset. And as long as things aren't complete crap, you feel like you're there instead of here. I have not experienced that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm hoping, like, because basically what I'm always thinking about is like, okay, so every time I trip, I'm always thinking about, is there something I can expose myself to while tripping that's going to help me reach a sort of higher plane of fucking awakening, or whatever you want to call it. Now, equally, what I've been super interested in is there's these clinics that are cropping up around Europe where to prepare people for death, terminally ill patients, they feed them psychedelics in like a controlled environment. And it's to prepare them for what is the theorized DMT release while you die. And I say theorized. I don't even know necessarily if it's been scientifically proven, even if it is sort of readily accepted on the internet.
There's also some universities over in America doing the same thing, taking terminal cancer patients and giving them psilocybin and like seeing what it does to them.
Yeah.
In general, it makes them way better.
Yeah, of course it would. Of course it would. I mean, apart from the fact they've proven now unequivocally that one of the best treatments for post-traumatic stress disorder actually is low dosages of LSD, which of course a lot of people, there's this myth of the bad trip, and you'll have heard this from many a space cadet, no doubt. Oh, you just got to be in a good headspace, man, and then like you'll totally not have a bad trip, dude, and but if you got baggage, man, you got the baggage. Bullshit. They're now proving that people veterans that have come back from Iraq and seen horrific things, and they can't get a good night's sleep, and they're having night terrors and all of this, giving them low dosages of LSD is taking the edge off and allowing them to overcome post-traumatic stress disorder. It's the same for ecstasy. It's almost
trying to stay in a good mindset is what causes bad trips. Like,
yeah, exactly.
That's the thing. If you release yourself and take it wherever it goes, then you're going to be fine.
So what I like to think about is like, how can I get to the sort of the next trip? Like the real shit that you take something away from it. Now, just imagine, right, being able to have a virtual reality headset on that could expose you to an alternate reality while you are already in an alternate reality. Like, that to me is what's fucking exciting about virtual reality. Like, if we can actually pull it off.
Sometimes gets a little slippery on psychedelics, so I don't know.
Yeah. No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, because, okay, I don't know about, again, I very rarely lost the thread of myself when I've been tripping. I mean, DMT doesn't count. Because when you're getting blasted through the kaleidoscope, There is no you anyway. Like no, that's not true. You're aware of who you are, but I mean, the physical you is dead, and the plane of your existence doesn't exist anymore. Like
I've never experienced ego death besides with DMT myself either.
Yeah, exactly. Everywhere else, the you remains, but when you're locked into that fucking rocket trip DMT, there's this tiny little part of you, but it's the part that observes and takes shit in, and you're kind of like reborn when you get to the other side and you piece it all together again. Everything else, it's like the Richard Lewis, the Thomases, it remains. But what I'm interested in is if you could take like a really strong trip, lose that thread of yourself while already in an alternate virtual reality, how would it alter the trip? What sort of shit would you bring back from the trip? Like,
well, yeah, you could view it as another tool, like just like meditation is a tool. The float tank, if you've listened to Joe Rogan, of course, like that he has, it could be used as a like third tool to achieve a higher plane with lower doses of drugs for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Now that's super exciting, right? Because I attribute my great wisdom. I'm kind of joking, but I attribute any sort of life lessons I've really learned. Like generally, there's two schools of the Richard Lewis life lesson. One of them is fuck up horribly, and just don't do that again, which you generally do from time to time. And the other life lesson is take a handful of something really cool. And when you get back, you've learned something about yourself without actually having to fuck up and make that mistake.
It's way easier. Takes like 6 hours. Don't have to talk to anyone.
Exactly. Yeah, perfect. It's brilliant. Yeah, perfect. But so imagine being able to say to people like, hey, you don't need to smoke DMT. You don't need to do ayahuasca. You don't need to drop fucking peyote. What we can do is we can feed you a very low-level psilocybin type trip, put you in a virtual reality headset, and trust me, you're going to have this life-altering experience, and it's going to be entirely positive. And if at any point you're getting fucking fucked up or afraid, we can just pump soothing vibes into the virtual reality world to chill you the fuck out. You know?
So like there's been a couple like trippy programs made, like one at a nightclub, purple lights everywhere. Another one was basically like a visualizer, like on the old media players, that sort of visualizer that was in tune to the music. So it's like giant kaleidoscope of colors that you're flying through at high rates of speed. That seems a little bit clumsy to me for this specific type of thing. I'm sure that this type of program will be written at some point. Like everyone who's interested in drugs, as soon as they put on virtual reality and are teleported to another place, will be like, hey, I should do something with this. So we'll see that at some point. I haven't seen anything that specifically was good yet.
Yeah. Okay. Well, look, final call, Thomas, because we're gonna. Final point. We're gonna wrap up very shortly. Because Sam needs to get up in about 7 or 8 hours and fly out to do the rest of Worlds because he's getting paid to do it, and he's going to leave me, and that means like no shows for like 4 or 5 days or whatever it is. So ultimately, back when we had the first wave of virtual reality, right? And I'm old enough to remember that it was a bit crap, and they tried to put it on TV shows, and
it's
they tried
super
to make
crap.
out that it, they tried to make out it was going to change the world. What is this? New wave different? Is this going to be this new bold frontier that everybody involved in the kind of virtual reality and gaming industry says it's going to be?
What sort of cell phones did they have when the first wave of virtual reality came out?
They were the big ones, the big fuckers, like walkie-talkies.
Yeah, the bricks that had 0 power and lasted like 5 minutes and weighed 20 pounds.
Yeah.
That is the technology that has improved, that has brought this forward. Now we have 1440p screens that are 5 inches big, that have like high resolution, and you have computers that can feed data to that and give you good environments inside of it. The inertial measurement units inside the phones is the reason why head tracking works. Like the phone has made it so it's possible. Like, it can do it now. There is a threshold where it's either no presence or there is presence. We're past that. We're well past that. And now better and better presence with other senses, your sense of touch, your sense of smell, not only your sense of sight, will be coming in the next years. It's good now. It's legitimately very good now.
Okay. Well, look, Thomas, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. I don't give a fuck. People in chat seem to think that I don't enjoy talking to you, which isn't true. You're always welcome. One of the better callers on Trash Talk, and I love talking about this shit. It's actually a welcome break from the nonsense of esports. So as always,
you don't want to talk about fingers.
No, that neither. So enjoy the rest of what you're doing with your evening, chemically induced or otherwise. And I certainly hope I'll hear from you again on one of the next episodes next week.
Alrighty. Thank you. Bye.
Look after yourself. So there you go, Sam. Virtual reality means that we can finally get you laid, I think. That's what Thomas was saying. No, think about it.
Finally go back to a day where you have hair, mate. Saved yourself $4,000.
Yeah, put it this way. I'm going to have all the hair very soon. And it's going to be great, but you'll still be a V-Reg.
I'm a little.
The thing is, obviously, in your family, there's so much incest flying about. I would have imagined some would have come your way. So, it's only fair, right? It could be an auntie, it could be a cousin.
Love this show.
It could be an auntie, it could be a cousin. Who knows? But 1 minute you're asleep, the next minute someone's fingering your little acorn. Damn.
Why acorn? That doesn't even make sense.
It does.
I mean, don't, mate. If yours looks like an acorn, get care.
It's the small fat man's chode knob. It looks like an acorn.
So
Do you not know this?
No, that is.
I don't have an acorn. Everybody knows I'm hung like a horse.
Bust it out then.
Yeah, wicked. Twitch stream. Who am I? Casey Tron.
Bust it out.
Yeah, alright, bust it out later, man. Bust it out later, man. I'll be there. Get it off! That'll be you when I'm it across your chest.
Take it off.
Take it off.
My chest.
His knob has wrecked me. So, anyway, we'll do the final segment of the show, shall we?
Let's do it, man.
Right, okay. So, new segment on the show. Anyone who follows my Twitter feed or indeed goes on Reddit, in particular the League of Legends subreddit and the League of Meta subreddit, aka the subreddit we created so we could not be held accountable for the way we moderate the main subreddit. Moderators, I've kind of left it all behind apart from the occasional barb, the occasional dig. But these moderators keep talking about me. They keep lying about me. I have no idea why they keep doing this. I have no idea why they keep doing it, dude. They just won't leave me the fuck alone. So I said, look, guys, if you crave this attention, then fine, I can give you attention. If attention is what you want, then we'll definitely do that.
It's in time now.
Well, I mean, let's not forget that a dox would have to be demonstrably proven in a court of law to be malicious. There would need to be no reason to put this stuff out in the public domain. Now, these people, they've added me on Skype in the past. These people are continuing to taunt and say untrue things about me. So, obviously, while I would never release anyone's address or whatever, I am starting to get a little bit perplexed about why they continue to keep poking this bear. I can only think it's because they want attention. And they obviously do. Now, the head moderator of League of Legends is one of the mods who went off it today, but we'll get to him in a second. One of the things that happened before this was another moderator, that guy with the little shaky fucking thing, Zelnequez, or however you fucking pronounce it, Exelnequez, that fucker. So he adds me on Skype Okay, and you can bring up this picture here that I sent you earlier, Sam. It's the first one. They're in chronological order. Now, this guy added me, and he was like, "I assume you know I'd like to be unbanned from your chat because obviously I ban the mods. I ban the mods. Why would I not ban the mods from my chat, my content chat, my content that they refuse to let the community share in?" So I couldn't believe that he added me. So you can see there, I said to him, "Why do you think that would ever happen?" And he's like, "I like to tune in every once in a while and would like to chat with other people there." And I said, "I like having people be able to freely read and discuss my content on Reddit. I guess we don't all get what we want." And then I told him that I think him and all of his colleagues are slime. And he was like, "You are calling me names out of the blue." And I'm like, "It's definitely not out of the blue." So I want you to kind of just get into the mind of a Reddit League of Legends moderator. That they think they can pull shit like this, but it's like, hey, don't ban me from your Twitch channel, right? Don't ban me from your Twitch channel. Don't prevent me from interacting with people while you make the content I then ban from Reddit. Don't do that. So that was one thing. Then I noticed Buckeye Sunday, it was making up a bunch of shit about me. He told a bunch of lies on Reddit. And again, this is 8 hours ago. 8 hours ago. Like, it's not even a long time ago. Where he's like saying just all of this ridiculous shit. Rewind another 12 hours. He's on Reddit and he's saying the following lies. He said that I wrote the article about the relationship between the Reddit moderators and Riot because I was banned and I was butthurt about it. When in reality, and it's easily proven, I started writing the article before that. And that makes sense because the moderator that joined the group very quickly said, "Hey, I've photographed all the, I've screenshotted all the back end. Do you want it?" Then he says, I published an email in the article and I reported it that it said the opposite of what it literally said. Not true. The moderator agreed to do this. When in actual fact I changed it to the moderator decided to do this. He said that we didn't ask them for comment. Meanwhile, they were running around telling everyone, "Richard Lewis is going to dox us. He's going to dox us. He's the big bad wolf. He's going to dox us. And we can't have him on Skype. If we talk to him on Skype, he'll dox us." So when I tried to add them on Skype to be like, "Hey, do you want to comment on this?" Guess what? They didn't accept. So I couldn't get them to fucking do anything. And in fact, every time I've asked moderators to comment on a story, you know that screenshot of the moderator King Crap that's out there, where I messaged him on Facebook saying, "Can you help me with a story?" So I messaged him off Reddit, and they were going, "Doxing, that's doxing. Why would you message him on Facebook?" So what am I supposed to do? There were some other lies. So I can only assume at this point, these people want attention. They want attention from me. I'm going to give it to them. I'm gonna give them all the attention they crave. Now, Sam, let's bring up Buckeye Sunday's Twitter meltdown.
Okay, which one, mate? I'll start from the bottom.
It's no. It's the one after the. So it's in order, but looking up from the bottom, if you know what I mean. So this guy goes fucking ham today on Twitter because I said he was lying about me, and he was like, "A lie requires a claim to not be true. My claims were true. You told lies about my team." It just goes on and on and on. And look, I won't read all the tweets, but scroll down, go to the second screenshot. On and on it goes. He says what I'm doing is a smear campaign. Then if you go to the next one, he fucking says that I'm going at again. That I'm lying about them. I'm blaming them. I'm taunting people on Twitter. This guy unblocked me to do all of this. How many tweets are here? This guy actually unblocked me to do this. He accused me of bullying him. And he goes, "You've got no shred of evidence to prove that you're lying." But I have, though. So ridiculous. He told me to piss off, and then he reblocked me again, as you can see in the final screen. So that's at Buckeye Sunday on Twitter. Tell him what you think about that. And trust me, there's going to be more. From now on, okay, I'm putting all of the mods in that subreddit, and indeed the mods on Reddit, on notice. We're going to have a segment at the end of every show where we look at all the ridiculous things they've said. I'm going to go through my archive of all of the fucking chat logs and all of the screenshots that I never published because they tried to trick me into thinking they were going to seriously consider my content ban, telling me that it would be fair, right? So I'm going to get all of that shit out. All of the fucking bullshit that they said, okay? All of the little fucking, I want to ban him. Can I ban him, please? No, let me ban him. All of the fighting that you did in your little private Skype group that I've never published, that's all coming out now because you want attention. Fine. I'm going to give you every second of attention. And every retarded post you make on Reddit, I'm going to be bringing that up. And who knows where it's going to go. I am beyond giving a fuck right now of playing your little games where you slander me on a platform where I can't defend myself anymore. And in fact, just to prove how serious I am about it, I'm going to do what I didn't think I was ever going to have to do. And that is that I got sent a sex tape, Buckeye Sunday. That's Drew Buckeye Sunday, at Buckeye Sunday on Twitter. I got sent a sex tape of him losing his virginity. It was the first time he'd ever had sex with a girl, and we've obtained footage of that. So here it goes.
What's in the basket?
So there we go, and there's more footage like this. Unfortunately, these moderators, they're depraved people. They're all clearly mentally imbalanced. I think the footage speaks for itself. And obviously, if you think you're going to be able to tell lies about me on a platform where I can't defend myself and it's going to go unanswered, then that's fine. But trust me, you're not going to like the outcome. My platform's only growing. It's only going to get bigger and bigger. Yours is only diminishing. So enjoy it. Every week from now on, Mod Watch. And I will tell all the regular people who tune in, and in fact, I'm saying every week, we do 2 shows a week. So every show, twice a week, Mod Watch. If you notice these fucked up human beings doing anything that strikes you as ridiculous, if you notice any comments they make, be it on or off Reddit, send them to me. I'm going to publicize them every time, talk about them, ridicule them for it. And, you know, maybe we'll include some more footage like that. Let's fucking play. I'm interested in doing this as an exercise because I'm getting increasingly bored of seeing my name fucking slandered and fucking dragged through the mud by a bunch of fucking kids in a fucking treehouse. You banned me from your subreddit, okay? That was it. That was your final card. You lose. I still get jobs. I still get money. You guys are fucked, right? So keep telling lies about me. This is what happens. Hope you enjoy it, all right? I hope you enjoy it because I'm past it now. I'm fucking bulletproof. Deal with it. So there we go. Mod Watch, guys. All of you chaps can fucking help me out with this. Send in anything you notice from these fucking retards, these plebs. Send it in. We're going to laugh at them. We're going to laugh at them on this show. They can't touch this. They'll never get me banned off Twitch. They can try. They can complain about it, but it's never going to happen. All right? This is my platform. Fuck you. You lose. All right. Awesome. So, Sam, without any further ado, shall we wrap up the show?
Yeah. There's a few more things. Check what I met you on Skype as well. There's 2 more things. I don't know if you want to go through.
2 more things. 2 more things. Where have you messaged me?
Skype.
Oh, has it? What is it? Is it on? Is it up?
No, it will be tomorrow.
All right.
100%.
Can you bring the screenshot up of it?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Okay. Cool. I'm glad. So something's actually been announced as well. So because these Reddit moderators, these League of Legends plebs, want to keep fucking with me and want to keep poking the bear and want to keep talking about me and lying about me and saying all this bullshit. Well, fine. All right, then. We're going to bypass you. We're going to go to your corporate office and basically pay for airtime on your precious little subreddit. So earlier today, Sam will bring up the picture, we had an article approved. Richard Lewis articles on the League of Legends subreddit approved. I don't know how often it'll come up, but right in the top in the sponsored link section, you will notice Richard Lewis on Breitbart. .com talking about shit that the community needs to and deserves to know, and we're gonna pay for it. I'm gonna pay to fuck you over, right? And you can see right there, we even took a photograph of me tipping a fucking fedora at you dumb motherfuckers. So that's how. So now you're gonna have to go to the fucking heads of Reddit and say, oh, but you have to ban Richard Lewis because he's so bad and he's triggering me. He's triggering me. I'm going to be on there with every YouTube video. I don't give a fuck if it bankrupts me, you dumb motherfuckers. I'm going to be doing this. So either Reddit are going to turn down my green money, or you're going to have to deal with staring at my fedora tipping face at the top of your fucking subreddit over and over again. So suck a fucking dick, Drew, Buckeye Sunday, suck a fucking dick, all the rest of you. And that's not the end, by the way, because I'm going to make YouTube videos about you, highlighting all the shit you've done, right? Okay, this was the last fucking straw. So look out for that one, by the way, guys. If you're a fan of Richard Lewis content, so I think it's
Starting
1 in
tomorrow,
6
yeah.
clicks starting tomorrow. You'll be able to see me tipping a fedora at the top of the League of Legends
Make sure you
subreddit.
screenshot it every time.
And every time you see it, make sure you screenshot it. Make sure you tweet it out. I will retweet and follow back everybody that tweets that out. And I can't wait to see the reaction. Because here's the thing. It can only end one of two ways. Either I am free to pay for this and do it every time, or Reddit is going to intervene and shut me down and say, Richard Lewis is so evil, we will not even allow him to pay to be on our website. Either way, I fucking win, I think. So, there we go. Oh, I needed to say that. I really needed to say that. It's so good.
I love this.
Look, can you zoom right in on that photo, just to show people how much of a fedora tip it is? Do we have the technology?
Yeah, we will. Hang on. Just give me a sec. Lads. Just gonna upload it somewhere else, because Gayazo is shit.
Yeah, we do know that. But I really want to see this fedora tip. I mean, shit, you could just bring up the photo.
Yeah, that fedora tip was from, what's it called? I was from a trash talk ages and ages ago, and I still had it
Old school
saved,
trash
mate.
talk. Old school trash talk. Well, I definitely want to see it. I'm not even closing the show. So, Sam, this is your time.
I'm doing it, mate. I'm doing it.
Good.
There you go, mate.
And yes, we're gonna use the hashtag ModWatch. That's hashtag ModWatch on Twitter. I will be checking that. If you see any mod abuse, if you see anything like that going on, just let me know. So let's zoom in. Let's have a little tip. Oh, look at that. What a good looking guy. It's unreal how good I am at tipping that fedora.
As well as
Wait, tip, my lady. So, yeah, fuck these kids. Enough of their bullshit, I think. So yeah, if you do see any, especially the League of Legends mods, but if you see any mods whatsoever doing anything fucked up on Reddit, let me know about it. Let's highlight them. Let's fucking start shaming these cunts the way they fucking shame everybody. I've got these assholes policing my Twitter, watching my YouTube videos, wanting to watch my streams, like requesting to be unbanned as if it's like something that I'm ever going to acquiesce to. These guys are out to fucking lunch, and it's time to highlight that. I know you guys are going to help me. So with that, all that remains to be said is thanks to you, Sam, for producing a great show, despite being under the weather. Have a great time at Riot Worlds. Pay particular attention to anybody acting a bit crazy.
Will do, mate.
Especially rioters. Thanks to all of the people for watching this show. Yes, the safety is off on Trash Talk right now. Like I said, by joining Breitbart, I am now officially bulletproof. There is nothing that can be done. I am here. I am totally protected in my fucking great job where I get paid Republican money, ridiculous levels of it, to write about esports. Better position than I've ever been in. Thank you very much for trying to drive me out of the Daily Dot, League of Legends, Reddit moderators. Thanks to everybody that called in. The calls were particularly good tonight. Thanks to all of the people that contributed the content we used for the clips, be it music or otherwise. And that was Trash Talk. Now, we are going to have to take a few days off. Sam, when do you get back?
Monday, and then I'll leave Wednesday for Cluj.
See, and I fly out Monday for Cluj. So this is going to be the last Trash Talk for a while. I'm going to try and do one while I'm in Cluj. I have no idea how that would work, but I reckon we could. It's not going to work very well, but we are going to try. If it doesn't work, the next Trash Talk will be a week Tuesday. So a long time to wait, but that just means more time to get Mod Watch, more time to get fucking wicked content out there, more time for you to think about good calls, and definitely call in about the major, because I'm fucking hyped. I'm doing a wicked fucking event again. Suck all the dicks. Reddit moderators, League of Legends.
You're too unprofessional.
Yeah, I'm doing I'm doing it. I'm doing a fucking major. It's going to be the best major to date, and I'm going to play a part in that, and I'm going to be proud to. So with that, I think that's it. We're going to play a wicked song as well to play you out. You should, you'll enjoy this one. It's by DJ Vadim, the fucking Russian percussion. And we'll see you when we see you. Look after yourselves. Peace.